way, maybe. Yes, there we go. Well, that works, I think. All right, there's YouTube. Hello, YouTube. All righty. Good. I've got everybody now. YouTube, Discord. Hello, hello, hello. And I know I can't keep up with Trump's fascism either. Let me get now TikTok going. And we are rocking and rolling. Volume really low. It's not. Discord, something's wrong with Discord. I can't adjust it. It is, but it's not. It's a Discord problem. There's nothing I can do about it. You guys have to go to your settings and turn it up yourselves. We discussed this yesterday. You may not have been here. There's some problem with Discord. Hey, TikTok. I don't quite know if I just put it the right way or the wrong way. Ash, did I just turn it the other way? It looked like it was off this time. The mirror. I can't. It's the wrong way. It defaulted the correct way. That's what I thought. It defaulted the correct way this time, I think. That was very weird. Okay, Doug. Yeah. There's some, like I said, TikTok or Discord has some weird thing that affects the volume sometimes. It's not clear why. Anyway, welcome everybody. John Aravosis here. Not a huge news day. Not a good news day. There's lots of scary stuff happening. Oh, the microphone. This is true. I had the microphone ready for you guys and then did not push it in. There we go. On TikTok. All right, TikTok, you've got the good microphone now. Sorry about that. Oops. Ooh la 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 la. Yes. This has been a trying week. Only going to get more trying. Oop, my hair is like all over the place. All over the place. Stop it, gray hair. Wait till you go gray. Your hair like starts to go, it explodes everywhere. Thank you, Max House. There we go. Now the volume's working for everybody. So, welcome everybody. I'm John Aravosis. This is my show. We talk about the latest news from Ukraine, but also from America. We start with the Trump stuff and then conclude with the Ukraine stuff. Unfortunately, lots of American news. Never getting better. Not never, but not getting better for a while, unfortunately. Keep in mind, tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, we've got our coffee talk. So we can do that. Manana, Annie, I don't think Annie did the gift. I don't think Annie did the gift last night because last year was such a shitty evening. We didn't want to do the, I didn't feel like doing the UN story. So I don't think she did it yet, actually. We'd have to ask her. Anyway, so welcome guys. So tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, we've got our coffee talk where we hang out, with the paid monthly subscribers, which is very nice of you all. So join me tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern time US. I've got my Greek class at 10 a.m. So online. So although she ends on time, I think. So I don't think I'll be late. I don't think so. Not later than my usual later, but we shall see. Let me see my DMs. I kind of tired of it. Yeah, I saw a couple DMs you guys sent with recommendations. I'll check them out. I have like a very long list of recommendations. All I've contacted was Adam Kinzinger so far because he is on TikTok. Adam, like, literally, I think started on TikTok like yesterday or a couple days ago. Literally just started. So one of you messaged me and told me, which is very helpful. Hey, seriously? What is wrong with you? He's like, get in here. God. Oh my God. My dog like wants to go out. I'm like, okay, I'll let you out. The second she goes out there, she starts eating crap off the ground. I'm like, what is wrong with you? And her hearing isn't great. So I've got to go, hey, kind of loud. And then she jumps like it's sort of like, oh God, Dad found me. Jumped out of her skin. I'm like, oh my God, dog. Seriously. No, she's eating plants now. She used to eat sticks. Now she likes to eat my sedum, sedum. Kind of a cool plant. She and the birds have been destroying it. Alexa, lower the temperature 1 degree. Getting a little warm in here today. Thank you, Sky Queen, for the gifts. Yasu Fallen. Any case, so yes, tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern is our coffee talk for the monthly subscribers. So join us then. What else we got? All right, I'm adjusting my temperature and then we are going to get rolling here. We're going to start with actually a Supreme Court update that just happened. Of course, as always, what a surprise. The Supreme Court caved to Trump and they were letting him do illegal things. Surprise. Seems to be par for the course here, but here we go. Okay, there we go. So New York Times, Supreme Court on Friday allowed the Trump administration to withhold $4 billion in foreign aid that has been appropriated by Congress in a major test of Trump's efforts to wrest the power of the purse from the legislature. In its brief order, the court's conservative majority said the president's ability to conduct foreign affairs appeared to outweigh the potential harm faced by foreign aid recipients. The court cautioned that its decision, technically a temporary holding while litigation continues through the lower courts, should not be read as a final determination. You know, Congress appropriates the money. They tell the president more or less how to spend it, and he spends it. Yeah, the president has control over foreign affairs. He does. He does not have control over foreign aid that Congress appropriates. He doesn't. He doesn't. And for Trump, so much of what Trump did, for example, Trump eliminated the Department of Education. Illegal. Congress can do that. Trump can't just, Congress appropriated money for the Department of Education to do various programs. Trump can't just say no. It's literally illegal for him to say no, right? And foreign aid. They've got $4 billion in foreign aid sitting there that did not go to countries. It's not just like Congress gives the money and says, well, if you want to spend it, go, whatever you want to do, go for it. They give Trump, the president, the money, and they say, this much goes to Africa. This much goes to, actually, not just Africa. This much goes to Botswana for this program in Botswana. This much goes for this program in Botswana. It can get that detailed. And the president can't just say, no, I don't want to spend it on Botswana. No, legally in America, that is not his right. And the Supreme Court, of course, just like the tariff stuff, every tariff Trump has done, he's done based on his emergency, national security emergency. Really? Every tariff was a national security emergency. Really? Like when Brazil punished its former president for trying to overthrow the government, and Trump put a 50% tariff on our coffee from Brazil because the president's his friend. That was a national security emergency? Really? I mean, this is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. In any case, so one of the big stories for tonight, possibly the big one, is next Tuesday or Wednesday or so, Trump's Secretary of Defense, but it's Trump, right? Trump's Fox News pretty boy, Secretary of Defense, has almost, if not every general and admiral in the United States military flying to Washington, D.C. for some secret meeting that no one's telling what it's about. The Trump people are trying to pretend like it's nothing. J.D. Vance goes, oh, they do this all the time. Yeah, we're not idiots. They never do this. They never, ever, ever bring every general and every admiral, 800 of them from around the world, and bring them to Washington. Literally. But I mean, again, the gaslighting is just beyond anything here. Oh, they do this all the time. No, they don't. Well, then a senior Defense Department official today with this one, oh, we haven't seen that one in a while, the popcorn. Thank you. Is that Michelle? Thank you, Michelle. Senior defense official today says, it's about rallying the troops. It's the warrior ethos. It's a new Pentagon. And we want to get the generals excited about the new Pentagon. First of all, as I said in my video on TikTok, bullshit. You want us to believe that Trump wants us to believe that he's bringing practically every general and admiral, 800 of them from around the world, paying for them to come to Washington with their top aides. The ones that are on ships have got a helicopter off of the ship to like another ship to land to this. I mean, the ones that are on submarines, imagine them coming. It's living hell for these guys to get here. It costs a ton of money. They're coming with their aides, which means there's probably 3,000 people coming easily. And they've got to stay somewhere. That's 3,000 hotels. I mean, expensive as hell how much this is all costing. And Trump wants us to believe today, this is what I'm saying, he's up to something. He wants us to believe that Hegseth, his defense secretary, the Fox News boy, is bringing all of these generals and admirals to Washington to give them, the quote was a pep rally. That was the quote today. To give them a pep rally so they can get excited about the new Pentagon that fights to defend America, the new Pentagon that is about warrior ethos, not about civil rights. First of all, again, bull. You're going to bring all these generals here for a pep rally? Are you insane? Are you completely insane? Can you imagine? I mean, I don't really, I've worked with the military. I've never been in the military, but I've worked with the military. I don't even know if I've met a former general. I met General Wesley Clark. I think he may be the only general I've met, I think. These are not men or women that you drag halfway around the world for a pep rally. Okay. And think about this. These guys, generals, how old are generals? 50s, 60s, maybe 50s at least, right? Oh, Thor's hammer. Thank you, Carrie. That's a fabulous gift. Thank you. That was a very nice gift. And the galaxy, Aileen, thank you. The galaxy, we do the screaming goat. Oops, where's my goat? Where's my goat? You need to tell us which goat you want there, Aileen. Which goat are you looking for? The big or the small? I got to find my, hang on. Where'd he go? Oh, here he is. We doing big or small? Small. by Grabnor's hammer or whatever the thing is. I always forget. Thank you for that. Thank you guys. But they want us to believe they dragged the generals and admirals halfway around the world for a pep rally. They want us to believe that they're going to tell some general who's been in the military for 40 years. They're going to tell him, we brought you here because you need to understand that now the military is about defending America, because you didn't understand that. General who's been fighting for 40 years didn't understand that his job was defending America. He didn't understand that he's a warrior. He's not a wimp, right? Really? You're going to tell the generals that? I mean, honestly, I hope to God that's what they're doing. I hope to God they are dragging these generals and admirals halfway around the world, as they said, for a pep rally, because I want these guys pissed off. I want them pissed off as hell against Trump and Hegseth. My concern is that they're lying to us. They are not holding a pep rally. It stretches all credulity. There is no way they're bringing these guys halfway around the world for a pep rally. They're not. This is something very serious. The other thing, and by the way, they keep changing their story. Remember when I told you when they keep changing the story, they're lying? One of the things I think J.D. Vance claimed was they're bringing them here to do a tour of new equipment. Really? You're flying them halfway around the world to do a tour of new equipment? No, you're not. No. Again, these generals would blow a stack of like seriously, you wanted me to come see some engine? Really? Why are they doing it? Well, here's the thing. Look at what Trump did in Virginia. Okay. And that'll be, our next story talking about Comey. But in order to indict one of his political opponents, thank you. I don't think I've seen the Sunday Bull before. Thank you, Michelle. That was cute. In order to indict his political opponents, Trump was using the U.S. attorney in Virginia. Well, the U.S. attorney in Virginia ended up being a little too honest. The U.S. attorney in Virginia and his staff investigated several of Trump's political opponents, and they determined that there wasn't any evidence of a crime. And they said, we legally and ethically cannot try to get an indictment of your political enemies just because they're your political enemies when there's literally no crime. We can't find any evidence. So Trump fires the guy. He put in some very pretty woman lawyer of his. It's relevant that she's very pretty because if you look at her picture and Trump, he puts in her. She has no experience prosecuting at all. She's his personal attorney. She was his personal attorney. No experience at all prosecuting. Puts her in there. She immediately goes and tries to get the indictment of Comey and gets it. Although it's on very rocky territory, all the legal experts are saying. The point here is Donald Trump long ago in his first term learned that a lot of his most radical policies, a lot of his most radical, un-American, illegal things he wants to do get stopped by staff that are ethical. And just like he learned in Virginia last week, the ethical lawyer, the ethical U.S. attorney wouldn't file charges against his political enemies because there was no proof. He said, we can't do it. So Trump fired him and he put in a lackey who was willing to file charges without any proof or without enough proof. During his first term, this happened to Trump a lot. For example, the Black Lives Matter protesters. According to General Milley, who was Trump's chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, that's the top military official, a top uniformed military official in our military, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Trump's guy, General Milley, says he was at the White House with Trump, gets called there, he's in his uniform, and Trump is very upset that Black Lives Matter protesters have been protesting in D.C. peacefully, but protesting, and they've been across the street from the White House, and they're being very loud in Lafayette Park across from the White House. Trump doesn't like it, and Trump asks Milley, can't we just shoot them? Can't you get your troops to shoot them? And Milley says, well, mind you, these are peaceful protesters. Milley says, no, that would be illegal. We really don't do that in America. And Trump says, well, okay, then what about just shooting them in the leg? And Milley goes, no, that would not be okay either. That was an instance of Trump having, again, just like the U.S. Attorney in Virginia, having somebody in office, somebody in power who he appointed, who wasn't willing to break the law for Trump, right? And this happened repeatedly with Department of Justice. Even Department of Justice, he got pissed at his crazy ass, what's his face, the former U.S. Senator who was a right-wing nut job from Alabama. Even he, thank you, Antelope for the Heart, even he, Sessions, wouldn't do what Trump wanted, because what Trump wanted was crazy, like illegal crazy. Trump said coming into his second term, he learned a lesson that his vice president, oh my God, thank you, Paul, his vice president, I almost forgot. Trump's vice president, when push came to shove during the insurrection, Trump wanted his vice president to help him overthrow the election at least. He wanted Pence to go there and object and basically refuse to certify Biden as the winner of the election. And Pence refused. Mike Pence, his vice president, refused. Pence is not somebody any of us like. Far-right, Republican, family values, religious right, etc. But in this one, he did the right thing. Now, he had to think about it, which was a little concerning. He had to call Dan Quayle in Indiana to get advice because he wasn't sure. And, you're not sure whether you want to help somebody overthrow our democracy. I would hope that a good person would not need to say, I need some advice on this, right? Let me pull whatever it's called. Nonetheless, Pence did the right thing. Trump learned that when you have the wrong people in power around you who aren't willing to break the law, you can't break the law. This time, he's got different people. This time, he's got Kash Patel, a MAGA activist at Department of Justice. This time, he's got Pam Bondi, at FBI, that is. Pam Bondi at Department of Justice, MAGA activist, right? MAGA activist Brendan Carr at the FCC. He's the guy that got Jimmy Kimmel kicked off the air by threatening to take away the licenses of Disney and ABC, right? The lawyer in Virginia, he fired him and put a woman in there who's rubber stamping his demands to indict Comey. What worries me with the military thing is Trump also learned that the military can get in your way as well. Another big lesson with the military with Trump, December of 2020, Trump loses the election. There's a lot of concern that Trump might start a war with China. Literally might invade China, bomb them. Very concerned. And because of him losing the election and kind of losing it. Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, tells the other generals, thank you for the bee sting, Carrie. That one always cracks me up. Thank you, Carrie, for that. Tells the other generals, if he declares war on China and tells you to bomb China, you will come to me first. You will not follow through on the order. You will come to me with any order you are given by him to bomb China. Trump learned that he couldn't do things that were illegal or maybe crazy unless he had crazy military people in power. Let me get to that next guy, Queen. And if I forget, because I'm on a roll right here with this topic, I don't want to change topics. Somebody remind me if I forget, so to speak, but I shouldn't forget. Trump learned that the military as well needs the right people in power in order to do his to implement his corrupt policies. What worries me is last time he wanted to shoot peaceful protesters with the military. They refused. Last time he tried to violently overthrow the government on January 6th. The military could have and frankly should have gotten involved, right? I worry that this meeting on Tuesday or Wednesday with all the generals and all the admirals is about Trump basically putting down the line that you're with me or you're against me. I don't want anybody who's a general or an admiral who isn't going to follow my orders, even if they're illegal orders, even if they're unethical orders. I want somebody who's going to listen to me and do it. And if you're not, I want you out of here. I fear that because the other explanations don't make sense. They're looking at a new national military strategy. Sure. I mean, maybe. Thank you, Cheryl. I worry. Barbara just said loyalty oath. That's what I worry about. I worry this is about loyalty oaths. I worry this is about loyalty overall. I worry this is about trying to scare the generals and say, you work for us now, right? I'm not sure that's going to go over with generals. General's oath is to the Constitution, as Robert just said. Thank you, Marsha, for the happy Friday. I'm not sure. I don't know that you can scare generals very easily, right? They kind of get to an admiral, they get to their position by being fearless. But in view of everything Trump has done, thank you, Stormy, in the last 8 months, especially in the last couple of days, like the Comey stuff, which is really, the Kimmel stuff was bad enough, incredibly illegal. This Comey stuff, he is using the Justice Department to indict his political enemies who have not committed any crimes, who there's no evidence they committed any crimes. That is criminal behavior by the president. As an analyst said in the news today, they do that in dictatorships. They do not do that in America until now. So I would be very worried about why he's getting the generals together. So anyway, I'm laughing, Stormy. I saw somebody say, I thought the same thing when I saw Stormy. I thought Stormy Daniels. I was like, oh, how topical of a name, Stormy Daniels. Yeah, part of the problem is too, people mentioned, isn't it kind of dangerous having all the generals in one place? Duh. Right? Like, what kind of a moron puts 800 generals and admirals in one room? That's insane. Oh, that's a cool gift. Autumn picnic. Thank you, Marsha. That's just insane. It's a risk. You have your risk of an attack. It's a very bad thing. So that's kind of stupid too. But look who we're dealing with. I think they're up to no good. Let's find out. But everything else we've seen, Trump already crossed the line 100 times already, but going after Comey was Banana Republic level. It was dictator level. It was fascism level, what he did going after Comey. Beyond illegal what he did. Removal from office, guaranteed if we had a normal functioning government for what Trump did. This is just incredibly dangerous. And the fact that now something's up with the generals should worry people a lot. Why can he do this? Because who can stop him? No, that's literally it. Who's going to? Congress? Republicans control Congress. The courts say, oh, it's Congress's job to control an out of control president. But the Republicans have shown they're not willing to, right? Department of Justice, is Trump's own FBI going to investigate him, and then his own Department of Justice going to indict him? Really? Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, they're not going to indict Donald Trump. Literally, our system has no checks and balances at all. We now know there's no way to keep a criminal president, in essence, in check. We now know, which is very scary. And the presidential immunity crazy stuff as well. Very, very scary stuff. Let me look really quick at Sky Queen's very generous question. Sorry if this is a bad question. Usually no bad questions. Do you think it's time for people to start leaving the country? I'm a near minimum wage worker, but I'm willing to skip out on a lot of things to save money to get out. The patriotic thing is to tell you, no, stay, fight. I wouldn't want to raise my kids right now in this country under this guy if I had kids. I think you might be fine with them for a while because hopefully the stuff doesn't filter down. But this isn't democratic anymore. This isn't America anymore. This is dictator level. This is fascism, what we're experiencing now. That's incredibly dangerous. It's also not easy to leave the country, as Manana just said. It's not easy to really be able to get somewhere else, to move somewhere else. It's not easy. So, but I would say, I don't think I'm at the point yet where people should give up. They should fight like hell at this point. They don't like to be called fascists and Nzis. Call them out on it. Right? They don't like it when you criticize ICE. Criticize ICE 100 times more if they deserve it. They don't like it when you exercise your free speech. Exercise it 100 times more. Drive them crazy. So for right now, no. For right now, piss them off. Exercise your rights. Defend the Constitution. Defend the U.S. military. Defend our founding fathers. All the things they don't care about. Defend the flag. Everything they don't care about. Anyway. All right. Oops. That was weird. What else we got here? So Comey. Yeah, we kind of already talked about Comey. So yeah, Trump indicted one of his political opponents, James Comey, who was the former director of the FBI, a Republican. Got Comey indicted because Comey ran the Russia investigation, right? Ran the Russia investigation. And that's bad because you don't investigate Russia trying to influence America and steal our elections. We don't do that to Mother Russia. Thank you, Mrs. Toad. So Trump is trying to throw him in prison. Trump has already said he wants to throw Hillary Clinton in prison, President Obama in prison, President Biden in prison, the prosecutor in New York in prison, U.S. Senator Adam Schiff in prison. He wants to throw everybody in prison. Somebody should be in prison. That's for sure. It's not any of them. But as I said, this Comey thing is incredibly dangerous. They're claiming the Comey thing is interesting because the Comey thing, all the lawyers are saying they're going to lose this case. Trump's going to lose this case. They're trying to claim that Comey lied to Congress. Now, it's difficult getting details on this because even another lawyer friend and I'm a lawyer too, we're looking into this. Not a lot of details public on this. There were 3 charges they filed against him, and they got the grand jury to only agree to 2. The grand jury has to indict you for the charges to basically go to court. They only got 2 of them. The 2 are that Comey allegedly lied to Congress and allegedly obstructed justice by lying about the lie or something like that. The third one was it's confusing because the third one, I finally got a copy of it. It seems the third one was Comey lied about not remembering a conversation or something, which is impossible to prove. How do you prove he remembered the only way to prove you remembered the conversation, thank you, Mrs. Toad, would be if I testified I don't remember that conversation, and I went home that night and in my diary I wrote, I remembered and I lied to them. You get a hold of my diary, now you can prove it. Mrs. Toad, which one would you like? Which goat? You got to tell me, was bigger, small, bigger, small, bigger, small. I saw the goat. Bigger, little, right? But it's very hard to prove big. Okay, thank you. Well, this one also has the bell, which I like too. Thank you, guys. It is incredibly difficult to prove that somebody doesn't remember, that somebody remembers something they say they don't remember. It just doesn't, right? Like, good luck proving that. So that's probably not going to go well. The other 2 charges are basically, and this is interesting, actually. And again, still trying to get details on this. Former Justice Department guy at CNN said, what's his, Ellie Honig or whatever, you guys have seen him on there. Honig says, the allegation is that Comey said there was a leak of, I don't know what, Trump's investigation, something like that. There was a leak to a newspaper. Comey was asked about it by Ted Cruz at a Senate hearing. And Comey says, I have no idea who, I did not authorize the leak. He said, I did not authorize the leak. He may have said, I don't know who authorized the leak too, but he said, I did not authorize the leak. Andy McCabe, who was the number 2 FBI or Justice, I forget which, but one of the top guys at Justice or FBI that Trump was going after, and that Trump did go after to punish. And McCabe testifies, I did the leak. Thank you, Kristen. But it was authorized by Mr. Comey. So Comey says, I didn't authorize it. McCabe says Comey authorized it. As Ellie Honig pointed out last night, and this was interesting, Ellie Honig said, well, actually, it's a little more precise than that. Comey said, I didn't authorize the leak. McCabe said, Comey authorized it after the fact, meaning McCabe allegedly decided to leak to the media. He leaks to the media and then goes and tells Comey, he says, hey, I leaked to the media about this. And Comey said, oh, good for you. I kind of like that. He goes, yeah, I agree with you on that one. But if McCabe already leaked to the media and told Comey, and Comey said, attaboy, that is not Comey authorizing the leak. It might be Comey speaking approvingly of the leak, speaking favorably of the leak, but you can't authorize something after it happens. You can't retroactively authorize, right? So Comey could have been telling the truth. The bigger problem is, how do you prove it? You're funny, Carol. I said the same thing last night, and so did Caitlin on CNN, that it's not permission, it's forgiveness, right? How do you prove that? So Comey is saying he never told me. Actually, Comey is saying he never told me at all, I think. McCabe is saying I told Comey. Well, McCabe is saying I told Comey, arguably to cover his ass, right? Hey, Comey approved it. I didn't, right? Comey is saying I didn't approve it. McCabe proved it. Again, possibly to cover his ass. If you go to a jury, how do you prove which one's covering their ass? Both have an incentive to cover their ass because they leaked, right? Both of them are saying the other guy approved the leak. I didn't approve the leak. Who do you believe? Both are very credible figures. Both of them are top officials at the FBI or Department of Justice. Who do you believe? And you've got to believe by, is it beyond a reasonable doubt? It's got to be a really high standard that you believe them as well. Thank you, Tom, for the swan. So again, a lot of the experts last night were saying they don't think this case is going anywhere. Good luck proving which of those guys is telling the truth, and good luck proving that Comey didn't remember a conversation. I mean, yeah, good luck. In any case, so that's the Comey indictment. Government shutdown is looming. I think we're 5 days away maybe from government shutdown. Currently, Trump is refusing to negotiate with the Democrats. Just that, refusing to negotiate. Trump said several days ago, thank you, Luis, for the pirate treasure. Keep the gifts coming, guys. Appreciate it. 4 days away. Trump said, I'm president. I got elected. You didn't. Of course, they did. I got elected. You didn't. So I get to do whatever I want to do. And I'm not going to negotiate with you. And they were like, well, this is a democracy. You have to negotiate with us. That's the way it works. Trump's like, no, I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. So let's see what happens. Now, Trump is now threatening to massively fire hundreds of thousands of federal workers if Democrats shut the government, as if it's Democrats, if the government gets shut down. Couple things here. One, Democrats should blow that up in his face and say, wow, so you're going to shut down government services for seniors and disabled people and everybody else, right? Thank you, Mrs. Toad, because you got pissed off. That's rather childish, but go ahead. Second of all, if in fact we can fire these workers without a great impact, which I don't believe, Trump's going to do it anyway. Trump's been firing everybody. Why wouldn't Trump fire all the federal workers? If there's another group of federal workers that Trump can fire, he's going to fire them. He's going to fire them. So Democrats shouldn't oh no, we're not going to negotiate over the budget deal because Donald Trump will fire more federal workers, as if Donald Trump won't fire them if the Democrats don't negotiate and give Donald Trump what he wants. Look at Disney. Disney gets sued by Trump. They decide to pay him off. They gave him a $16 million bribe for his, library or whatever. Okay. And Disney gives him the bribe thinking, well, if we give Trump the $60 million settlement, he's not going to come after us again. So what did they do? Trump's people threatened to shut down Disney and ABC after they bribed him 6 months ago. I mean, he's not going to go away just because you say, oh, okay, we'll give you what you want, Donald. Right. It's not going to work that way. Anyway, what else we got? Hegseth. Oh, so this was nice too. Hegseth today, our Fox News pretty boy defense secretary. I actually had to Google it. I will admit, I wasn't totally up on this. Wounded Knee Battle Massacre, wasn't totally up on it, I admit. Basically, this is important. This is the Trump administration, again, defending racism, promoting racism, really, and rewriting history and attacking minorities. So 1890 or so, there are Native Americans. Obviously, at this point, we pushed a lot of Native Americans off their land, okay, by 1890. And a group of Native Americans basically start kind of a peace movement. It was called some ghost, I forget the name of the movement, if anybody remembers, like a peace movement. And the federal government was very worried that the peace movement was going to be turned violent. And it wasn't. It was a peace movement, right? Ghost dance. Thank you sincerely. Ghost dance. Thank you, Bowie, for the crane. And federal troops go, U.S. military, to basically kick these 250 Native Americans. At the time, we called them Indians, right? 250 Native Americans. Thank you, Denise, for the gift. Very nice. I always like that. I think that's to me, that's one of the coolest gifts, actually. The Egyptian. The U.S. military goes to basically kick these 250 Native Americans out. Somehow, gunfire, a bullet goes off. Nobody knows whose, nobody knows how. The suspicion is, by all the historians, that it was an accident. Whether it was a troop, whether it was a Native American, somebody's bullet goes off. In response, the federal troops, U.S. troops, opened fire on the 250 unarmed Native Americans. They're men, women, and half of them were women and children. Okay? Half of them were women and children. Opened fire with guns, and this one blew my mind, and artillery. They had artillery. Oh, that is so cool. Which was that the Marked with Love, Carrie? Oh, I've never seen that before. That was very cool. Thank you. They used artillery. Artillery are like those big metal guns that sit on the ground with the big wheels and have the big long tube and fire shell like a rocket. They used artillery to attack women and children. Okay. I did not know the history of this. I really didn't. It is, and I did a lot of reading on it today because I was not aware of the history. I have heard about it, but I never knew, it is established by historians. It is not controversial. It was a massacre. It was our fault. It was not, well, what were the Native Americans really doing? It is established by all historians that it was a massacre. We killed them, and we literally murdered women and children. Totally unjustified, okay? Well, 20 of the U.S. troops that were there got the Medal of Freedom, the highest honor of the government, right? They got the Medal of Freedom. Well, Biden's people, I think, were looking, maybe before that too, but Biden's people were looking at whether they could or should take away the Medal of Freedom away from these guys who slaughtered Native American women and children. A Pentagon study, an independent group, looked at it and concluded, yeah, this was a massacre. Yeah, these were bad people, but the bad soldiers, but there is no process to revoke a Medal of Freedom. There's literally no process to do it. And they were concerned about going down that path when there's no legal way to do it. So in the end, the panel, thank you, Anne. In the end, the panel said, we don't like making this recommendation, but if we're being fair, we think we should just leave it be, even though these are bad people who did this to the Native Americans, right? So that was it. So Biden's defense secretary decided not to reach a conclusion either way. What does Hegseth do? Hegseth, Trump's pretty boy, Fox News Today, says, today I am announcing definitively, by the way, there is no definitive because the next president can change it, definitively that the heroes, the U.S. soldier heroes at Wounded Knee will get to keep their medals. I mean, they're dead, but their families, whatever, will get to keep their medals. And he goes, so first of all, this is also Trump's, this is like an Epstein thing, as far as an Epstein diversion. This probably is. Thank you, Omar. Because you're announcing today that you're not taking away the medals. Nobody thought you were going to take away their medals. You're Donald Trump, right? You're announcing today they get to keep their medals? No, because what you say has no bearing on what the next Democratic president would do. The next Democratic president can still take the medals away if they want, right? So do you get what I'm getting at? His announcement was bullshit, basically. But he says, this was DEI. This was a civil rights agenda. Why they were even discussing taking the medals away. You know how we know? He literally said this today. We know because the Pentagon did a study, and the study concluded that these guys were, he literally said this, these guys were heroes, and that they should keep their medals because what they did was heroic. It's like, no, the study concluded that these guys were not heroes, but taking away the medal is problematic because there's literally no process to take away a medal of freedom from anybody. That's what the study concluded. Hegseth came out and lied about the entire thing this morning. He lied about the history, and he lied about the study itself. And they did it. And as I said, thank you for the gifts, guys. The whole thing was gratuitous anyway. WC is never going to stop. The whole thing was gratuitous anyway because Hegseth didn't announce anything. Hegseth announced, I'm not going to take away their medals. Okay, nobody thought you were going to take away their medals because they were, you guys are racist. Why would you take away their medals? Nobody thought you were going to. So you're announcing nothing. So why are you doing it? This was just another chance for them to deflect from Epstein and another chance for them to throw bait to their base, basically racist, more racism. Again, they've already gone after African-Americans, blacks, Native Americans, Indians, women, Latinos, all the different attacks they've done in the Pentagon now, right? No longer teaching the history of the different groups, all this stuff. Thank you, Aileen. Anyway, Sinclair and Nexstar both dropped their boycott of Jimmy Kimmel. He's now going to be showing on the local ABC stations. We don't know why. We don't know if Disney bribed them. We don't know if maybe they got worried legally. We don't know. But that was good news. Trump TikTok. So the Trump TikTok deal got even creepier. Trump, we found out today, demanded of the companies like, Andreessen, Oracle, Fox News, Murdoch, demanded of them, so if I give you, percentage ownership, where's my little wig? If I give you, if I give you part ownership in TikTok, will you give me a lot of money for the U.S. government? And they said, okay. He made them pay billions of dollars, or he's making them pay billions of dollars to finalize the TikTok deal. This is called socialism or communism. He has done this repeatedly now. The fact that Republicans are okay with this is crazy. He is now saying that for American corporations to do any big deals, they have to pay the government 10 to 15%. NVIDIA and the other silicon chip company has to pay the federal government 15% of any deals they do with China now. Intel, the U.S. government's taking a 10% stake, literally socialism. I'm not using it in the American way. Thank you, P1, for the hat. I'm using it like in the literal way. Government taking over private companies is literally what you had in socialist countries or communist. It's communism too, actually. It's amazing. And by the way, Democrats should be using that phrase. You'll notice Democrats are not using that phrase, right? When Trump said he was taking 10% of Intel for the federal government, the Democrats should have said, well, that's nice. That's communism. Great. AOC should have said that's socialism. Thank you. But Democrats suck at this. So yeah, that was kind of crazy. What else we got? 79-year-old American man is suing ICE. They came to the car wash he operates 2 weeks ago and wanted to arrest people there illegally, whatever. He sees them there. He comes out with a stack of papers and says, hey, I'm the owner. I want to let you know a number of my guys are for sure legal. I've got their paperwork. So before you take them away, they are Latino, they're immigrants, but I've got their paperwork. A lot of these guys are legal. He's 79 years old. They pick him up and body slam him on the ground. 79 years old. They broke several ribs. He got a concussion. They then arrested him, took him to their little ICE headquarters for 12 hours, did not give him medical treatment at all, would not let him make a phone call. After 12 hours, they released him. Goes to the hospital. They find out several broken ribs, all sorts of stuff. Oh, hey, Annie. Thank you. We can consider that your UN story potentially, since you decide to do it where I get more money, because I get more money there than I do at the other place. Um, yeah, very bad story. Very bad story. Yeah, needed his medication. They wouldn't give his medication. The other ICE story today, I'm going to show you the video on this one. This one was actually, I've got to be careful. Well, I think I can show you the video on this one. Hold on a second. This was a couple days ago, New York, and an Ecuadorian immigrant woman, her husband gets arrested. She shows up and says basically, hang on a second. Is this not do not disturbing for me? Maybe. Hold on. There we go. My phone should have been in do not disturb mode. Hopefully it is. She shows up and is freaking out and saying in Spanish, oh my God, they're going to kill him. Presumably she means if he's sent back to Ecuador, right? Gangs, who knows what it is. They're going to kill him. She's freaking out. I want to show you what happens next. Now, this guy is an ICE supervisor. Reportedly, he is been suspended or whatever, which is good. He did actually manhandle a 15-year-old girl a month ago. They didn't seem to care about that. Let me pull you this. Hold on. Yeah, here we go. Let me pull you this. So this is from the local CBS affiliate in New York. Oh, hello. Why are you doing this? There it is. CBS affiliate in New York. I want to, hopefully you can see.
They're going to kill him, a woman pleads in Spanish to a plainclothes officer. Then he pushes her to the ground and stands over her as the cries of her two children echo through the hall.
Yeah.
They're going to kill him.
There were about 12 reporters standing there. 12 reporters with their cameras in their hand, her two children. There's a longer video from the CBS affiliate. And simply, literally, she's telling him, she's going, please, they're going to kill him. She's not shoving him or anything. She's going, they're going to kill him. But she's crying, please. He gets fed up with her and grabs her and throws her against the wall and throws her on the ground. I mean, well, no one helped her. I got news for you. When an ICE agent who's armed grabs someone, no, only because some people said this on TikTok too. I don't know who would help if somebody's got a gun and it's an ICE agent in a federal courthouse. You'd freak out and scream, but I don't know if you would jump in and help with your fists. I could understand why people would say, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty scary stuff. Yeah. Again, he got suspended, which is good. I mean, this is fascism. This is literally the definition of fascism, using government violence and basically paramilitary violence against a woman simply crying because you arrested her husband. I mean, really amazing, really amazing. And again, they suspended him, which is great. Now mods ban that guy. Obviously, he's a troll. This was also from the CBS affiliate. Hold on, I'm going to adjust this so you can see the picture a little better. Hold on a second. One moment. Same guy. This is the guy here. This is the woman. This is the teenager in red, and he's the guy with the baseball cap. The teenager that he manhandled last month. Notice the other ICE guys with their masks on, of course, because that's what they do now. Again, like some scary place. This is the same guy. A month ago, CBS says he manhandled a teenage girl. The girl was in red. And again, notice the other guys with the masks on. Again, in America, we don't do that with masks. That literally, these guys look like very scary, dangerous, not governmental people. Yeah. So that was a nice story. By the way, J.D. Vance lectured Democrats 2 days ago and said, you're not allowed. The White House did too. You're not, and so did Kristi Noem, all three of them. You're not allowed to criticize ICE anymore because people have been, shooting or whatever they've been doing. You're not allowed to criticize ICE anymore. It's like, yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. This is democracy. Not just this democracy. We're good Americans. A lot of us are good Christians or good whatever we are. And if somebody's doing horrific behavior like that, that is fascist behavior, it is going to be called out. And just because bad people do bad things in this country does not mean that other bad people get off, right? Right? Because some people resort to violence against ICE means now we can no longer criticize the horrific things ICE does because some idiots used violence? No, right? No, doesn't work that way. They would like to silence you. Absolutely like to silence you. The Trump people, of course. Zelensky asked Trump for Tomahawk cruise missiles. That was interesting. European Union is weighing changes to its sanctions extension procedures. They want to extend the sanctions against Russia, but the Hungarians are being a pain, so they're looking at ways of possibly excluding the Hungarians from the vote. Unidentified drones were spotted in northern Germany near the Danish border. Don't know who, but suspect the Russians, of course. And Romania is reportedly in talks with Ukraine to jointly produce drones. All right, that's it for the news. We chat like always. So, hello, everybody. Newsom will run for president. Yes, not yet, but he will. Anyway. Oh, that's scary, Leah. Epstein, I don't think there is any Epstein news today. There isn't any Epstein news today, though. Somebody said, what's the Epstein news, but there isn't any yet. I don't think. Can AOC be president? I don't think so. First of all, I mean, I don't know how the Republicans or independents would vote for it. America is not at the point of voting for a socialist. I think it's the kiss of death at this point. Maybe she's a Democratic, but she's a socialist politician. Very smart, very pretty. I mean, because that helped. But I mean, she's very telegenic. She's very smart, speaks very well. And I think if you want to lose the presidency for the next 20 years, keep putting her up. I mean, at this point, we keep sort of, we keep kind of doing that. I think like at some point, I don't know. Diversity is great. Winning is great too. But no, I don't think America, the bigger problem for her is going to be she's a socialist. But it doesn't help that she's a woman either, to be honest, as far as voters in general, as we've learned repeatedly. But it also doesn't help that she's a socialist. It's going to take a long time before anybody's comfortable with that. I don't know. Establishment isn't a real word. I don't buy into that. Somebody said Hillary and Kamala were establishment. Kamala Harris was the most liberal member of the Senate. So if that's establishment, I don't know what is. Hillary, they called a socialist back in the 1990s. They called her a lesbian socialist. That was what the Republicans used to call her. And then suddenly the children decided when Hillary ran for president that Hillary, she's as conservative as you get. And I was like, seriously? I had young kids trying to tell me, Hillary's very bad on LGBT issues. Did you know that? And I'm like, well, as a 30-year LGBT activist, let me tell you about Hillary's positions actually on LGBT issues, including the fact that Hillary went and met with people with AIDS back in 1990 when her husband was running for president. When nobody would meet with people with AIDS, Hillary met with people with AIDS. So tell me about how bad Hillary is on LGBT issues. But again, you basically get people who are new to politics make the mistake of thinking politics started when they took an interest in politics. And they sit there and go, Hillary, I've heard bad things about her in the last year. She must be a very bad person for the last 30 years. And it's like, no, you just don't actually have any sense of what she did before. So Wilson, thank you for the gift. It no longer feels like 1933 Germany. We're pretty much at June of 34. Yeah, the clock has advanced. Honestly, you know what we need? You know how they've got that doomsday clock, which was like how many minutes to midnight, and it's how many minutes to nuclear war? We need that for like how many minutes to 1939 or whatever, or 1944. I don't know what it would be. Thank you, Julie. That's an interesting idea. That would be a website. That would be a website. Be a very interesting website, actually. Oh, hey, Alan. I called you alien before. I think it's Alan, we said, right? I can't see the screen well enough to get the difference between Alan and alien. But it would be cool to actually have a website that would do that. Oh, you bought the domain. What's the domain? What's the actual domain? But it's an interesting idea. Nuremberg clock. Oh, that's it. That would be interesting. No, that would be really interesting, actually. Yeah, that I did see. You know what? I saw some Epstein news right before I came on. I did see that. Um, that like Elon and some other people. There was, but I didn't see what the story was. Um, oh, I remember that one. Yeah, Dave was mentioning Star Trek, the original series, a piece of the action where an alien world fashioned their society after an Earth book about Chicago gangs of the 1920s, sounding more and more like present day USA. Yeah. Um, um, anyway, yeah, I didn't see what's this with the NASA asteroid. Is there another asteroid supposedly going to hit us? Ooh, my Tyrannosaurus t-shirts arrived. Remember, I was showing you guys those two t-shirts. One was the Tyrannosaurus like spewing a rainbow out of his mouth, and the other was like a Tyrannosaurus with a unicorn, because I thought it was gay but not gay, which I thought was the funniest damn thing. They were on sale finally on Amazon, so they were like $2 or $3 off. So I got them. I was like, you know what, $2 or $3 discount, as Callum says, I love a deal. So I bought them finally, but they're in my Amazon box downstairs. NASA asteroid. Let's see what the headed to the moon. Oh, that's scary. Has a chance of hitting the moon. Let's see. NASA confirms mysterious object entering solar system is interstellar visitor. A mysterious object hurtling through space has been identified as a rare interstellar object, only the third of its kind ever seen. Oh, I think I heard about this. In July, NASA reported its Atlas survey telescope in Chile identified a comet that originated from interstellar space. The comet poses no threat to Earth. It will remain at a distance of 150 million miles. So it's not this one. Okay, it's not this one. Asteroid 2024 YR4 caused quite a stir last year when it was discovered and originally calculated to have a 3% chance of hitting Earth. Since then, models have been refined, and while it no longer has a chance of hitting Earth, it does have a 4% chance of hitting the moon in December 2032. Okay, that's kind of scary. 4% is not nothing. 4% would be 1 in 25. That's not nothing. Oh, was there a swan? Sorry, did I miss a swan? Thank you, Visionary. Somebody wrote swan. Did I miss one? Tiny Dinies, baseball cap. Let me keep going here. At that time, as the time gets closer, we'll have a better idea of the probability. A new paper from NASA and a bunch of other researchers details potential missions and timelines that could make sure the moon isn't pummeled with a decent-sized asteroid. There are no definitive plans to have a permanent human presence on the moon. One, deflect it. The other is to destroy it. Deflection would be preferred. Simply moving its orbital path slightly would ensure it would miss both the Earth and the moon. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think of that. Right. You could just deflect it. Yeah, but the nuke, I don't think would be good enough. Let me see here. 1 second. They were going to say the nuke option I thought was in here too. 1 second, Sasha. The other option to destroy it will stir a feeling in the hearts of 90s kids. We could nuke it. It might not involve Bruce Willis. Set off a nuclear explosion at some height off the surface. Known as the height of burst, we would still need some reconnaissance to try to tailor the explosion, but the paper calculates that a 1 megaton nuke would be enough to disrupt the comet no matter what size it is. To be fair, we've never tested a nuclear explosion in space with the intention to deflect an asteroid. Physics says it's possible. Oh, that's kind of funky. Okay, that's interesting. Well, they could. Kind of scary, though. It is kind of scary because, like, that stuff, I mean, hitting the moon. Wasn't there a disaster movie about that? I thought there was. I mean, where it actually hit the moon? Yeah, I saw it. I saw it the other day. Like, a big chunk of the moon was missing. Oh, dog wants water. Dog wants water. One moment while you pull up which disaster movie that was. I literally watched it in the last month or two. Hello, doggy. Oh, it looks like the sky might be doing nice things. We might be getting a nice sunset. The sky was cloudy, but all of a sudden now we're getting kind of an orangey sunsetty thing. So there's a chance. It was a recent movie. It wasn't Armageddon. Armageddon's the old one, I think. This was not the Bruce Willis one. The moon literally gets hit, and a chunk of the moon. Was it Armageddon? Where a chunk of the moon gets taken away. Thank you, Garden Girl. Or Moonfall. A chunk of the moon is missing. Literally, a chunk of the moon is gone. I don't think it's Armageddon. Right. Thank you. I knew it wasn't Armageddon. Yeah. Up. Thank you, Anne. You get a goat, Anne. Which one would you like? Big or small? Big or small? Big or small? Big or small? Big or small goat? Big? One more. Thank you. Appreciate that. Moonfall. That's what I figured. Yeah, I was going to say Armageddon's the old one, and it didn't take a chunk of the moon with. Literally half the moon's gone in this video. Yeah. I don't recall. I don't think it was Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't think so. It was, I just saw it like in the last couple of months. I don't know why, how, but I did. Anyway, Moonfall. Okay. Actually, now I'm going to look this up so I can see who was in it. Is it a good movie? I don't recall. I think it wasn't terrible because I watched it. If it was bad movies, I just turn off. 2022. Oh, Rotten Tomatoes hated it though. Was this the one? Rotten Tomatoes just hated it. Huh. I don't know that that's the movie. I don't know. I'm not recognizing any pictures from it, to be honest, even though it is recent. Maybe. None of this is looking familiar to me. Yeah. I don't think this is it. I don't think this is it. Yeah. Maybe. Hold on. Name me a few movies that were recent that showed the moon getting impacted with something. And literally, I remember part of the movie showing a huge chunk of the moon now missing, almost like a crescent moon because of the impact. What movie was that? It would have been in the last few years. I don't think it's the Moonfall one. I think it might be the one somebody else said, Impact or whatever it was. Moonfall. The moon is knocked out of orbit by mysterious force, and there are dramatic visuals of it breaking apart and affecting Earth. Maybe. Meteor Moon. A meteor strikes the moon. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Another, or Gender, excuse me. Another one. All right, you get a goat too, Gender. Impact. I don't remember which one now. Huh. I'm going to have to see the, yep, Gender, which one you get? You get a small moon, you get a large moon. You get a small goat or a large goat. The goats are popular tonight. Deep Impact sounds even more correct. That sounds really correct to me. It is definitely not that moon. God, maybe it was the old one. Deep Impact was forever ago. I don't know, guys. I can't remember now. Yeah. I just remember a huge chunk of the moon missing, but I'm trying to remember the, I can't remember. Oh, well, it's bumming me out now. But I just can't remember what the, we are getting, by the way, we are getting some sunset here. It's still not showing sufficiently for you guys. I'm trying to go a little bit. It's a little too bright. It's not giving you, it's nicer than it's showing you. It's like orange, but it's a very nice orange. So anyway, yeah, I just can't, no, it wasn't Space 1999. No. Space Cowboys I've never watched. No. Yeah, like I said, it was recent, and there was a huge chunk of the moon missing, and I'm trying to remember what and God, how did they fix it? I'm trying to remember how they fixed it. It wasn't Don't Look Up, no. Yeah, I just can't remember what. It'll come to me. Yeah, actually, it did shift the orbit. Yeah, it shifted the orbit, and the analysis was that within a few orbits, the moon was going to crash into the Earth. And then they did something to change it, and then it didn't. But that was the analysis, was like, oh, in 6 orbits, it's going to crash into the Earth, and then we're all dead. That was the movie. I remember now. I love this. That was Melancholia. That was Moonfall. It wasn't Armageddon. No. No. Armageddon, it didn't actually blow up the moon. This literally hit the moon and destroyed like half the moon. I don't remember who was in it. It was a couple months ago. It wasn't that long ago though, but it was a couple months ago. And it didn't help. It didn't help my, I mean, I can ask ChatGPT again. Hold on. Now it's bugging me. Let's narrow this down. I remember part of the plot was after the moon got hit by whatever it was, and it took a chunk out of the moon, within a few orbits of Earth, the moon was going to crash into the Earth, period. Again, what movie could this be? It was a relatively recent movie, I think. Yeah, the sunset is getting nicer. It's thinking longer for a better answer. It's definitely getting nicer. I don't know what year. I would say the last few years. But yes, the sunset, I could tell the sunset, actually, it's nicer on my end. On your end, it's a little, oh, actually, I shouldn't say that on TikTok. On TikTok, you're getting a very nice, you're getting a really nice sunset on TikTok. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not recognizing any of the pictures. Early sunset or later sunset? I mean, later in a way. Well, it depends. For the show, I like earlier because the show looks better when it's dark. Like now, you get the cool sunset. The light in my apartment looks better. So I like the show when it's dark. Personally, I like it sunny out as late as possible. You know what I mean? Moon crash 2022. Meteor moon. Let me look up moon crash. Let's check out moon crash. I don't know. That was not well liked either. I'm just not remembering any of these people. No, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Oh, well. I can't recall. It may come to me. It may not. I can't remember. Moonfall, maybe. Yeah, I'm just not recognizing the pictures, which I thought I would. Boy, that really is like being very nice. No updates on the generals being summoned, other than the Trump people are trying to claim it's just like an orientation. They're being, what do they call it? It was in my notes. They're calling it like a pep rally. It's just a pep rally. Like, yeah, you're bringing generals and admirals from all over the world to Washington for a pep rally. They're going to kill you. It's not a pep rally. Are you kidding me? You know, I generally do. I will say, I mean, Sky Queens are saying I'm allowed to like movies others don't like. I generally find that like when Rotten Tomatoes is below 70%, I generally don't like the movie. It's true. I will start watching movies and go, ugh. And then I look at Rotten Tomato and go, oh, is it 50%? It figures. Very in line with that. Even though I will say there are movies, the opposite is true. Sometimes people like movies and I hate them, right? That's different. But liking movies that everybody else hates, pretty rare, I think. Thank you, Heather, for the Friday gift. I think that's pretty rare, to be honest. You know, actually, I keep not pushing the, although I always feel bad now. Don't forget, subscribers tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. We have our subscriber get together, monthly subscribers. TikTok, they raised the price. I'm sorry. It's $9.99. It's not my choice. But I guess think of it this way. What's democracy worth to you? So, you know, if you're thinking of how to support good things out there, maybe your favorite creators who are pro-democracy is a good thing you could support. So just saying it. Anyway, I know NPR. Well, I should sound like NPR. You know, but yeah, good. Heather will be there. Excellent. No, it's a good hangout. I do my Greek class first, so I'll be awake. At least I had the first Greek class yesterday. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Yeah, it's actually really beautiful. Beautiful sunset. Although, like I said, it's brighter. You're seeing it a little brighter. Oops. Hello. Don't do that. That was a little too fast there. I'm trying to adjust the brightness, but it's hard to adjust. Anyway, but even on your end, like you guys, it's not really. It's prettier than it looks on Discord and YouTube, to be honest. It's prettier than that. Although with you guys, I think it might even be looking prettier. Do I have tote bags or mugs? You mean what, for myself? Oh, that's true. Yes, I do not. No. A little too hard to do fulfillment on my own. Sadly. But it is nice though. The behind the TV is not a painting. It is a shadow puppet from Indonesia, but kind of a cool one because I will show you. Here. Oh, that's decent at least. It's not the best, not the easiest to see, but it's a shadow puppet from Indonesia that my nephew got me a couple years ago. It's a nice, because it's kind of an, I say antique. I forget what they call it. It's not an antique, but it could be 60 years old. So it's a nice one. And the colors you can't really see here. The colors are very nice, but he got it from this sort of, the people he got it from looked legit. Vintage, I guess is the word. Yes. The people he got it from are legit. He got it like before the store became big. When he was there, literally they were going through the store and there were piles of stuff in the store with dust and everything else. And it was funny because he was like, oops, look at my thing again. The piles of stuff, he said they were going and there was like a pile in the back, and the pile in back had, oops, 1 second here. There we go. The pile in back had like buried under it some of these shadow puppets, but they were covered with dust. I mean, horrific, in a pile of stuff covered with dust. And he said, there's no way this was real. I mean, this wasn't like they, saw a tourist coming and they piled stuff in the corner and poured dust all over it, They cleaned it up for him. The guy told him, which we visited the guy the next time I went to Indonesia. We visited the guy and he had told Anthony, he said, no, he said, I know these are at least this old because my dad had the store before, and my dad, whatever it was, like his dad had put stuff there a long time ago. So he knew it was at least 40 years old, or I forget exactly. Very cool. Anyway, so they're very neat. They're very pretty. But yes, that's my Indonesian shadow puppet. A lot of fun stuff. That's my Mali kind of totem-y kind of thing. That's my Alaskan baleen, the big tall thing. Got a lot of fun stuff. A barn find. Andor, the Star Wars show. I was starting to watch it, and then I wasn't getting. Isn't that Disney Plus? Dun dun dun. Then I didn't have Disney Plus anymore, so I didn't continue. The Ryder Cup. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I don't know. I would have seen it on Netflix or Amazon Prime probably. Politico says general meetings about discussing grooming standards and his warrior ethos. Grooming standards? I'm going to look again and see if there's anything. Oh, come on. Does anybody else's iPhone do this, that all the time it's requiring me to enter my passcode all the time? Not all the time, but practically, 1 out of 3 times that I open the phone, I've got to enter the damn code. And I'm like, they did something a couple updates ago. Very annoying. Really, like right now, all of a sudden it's making me put the code in again. And it's not like it just updated the software or anything. Let me see. Hegseth generals. Let's see here. Politico. Oh my God. It literally is grooming. Are you kidding me? Politico. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has ordered hundreds of generals to Virginia next week to discuss grooming standards and his warrior ethos vision. The secretive meeting will serve as a kind of pep rally where Hegseth focuses on conduct and expectations for military leadership. Oh, they're going to hate him. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hegseth wants to talk about how everyone needs to. Okay, by the way, this is exactly what I told you it was going to be. This is exactly what I warned you. Hegseth wants to talk about how everyone needs to row in the same direction or face career consequences. I told you. I told you. I warned people. I mean, you all agreed with me, but I warned people and everybody else was like, oh, it's not going to be bad. Everyone needs to row in the same direction or face career consequences. Hegseth has taken a hands-on approach to personnel issues, making grooming standards and physical fitness a core part of his tenure. The secretary is also focused on what he calls the warrior ethos. He will focus on these elements in his speech. Oh. He's going to lecture them about grooming and then threaten them. Oh my God. See, now I got to do a video. Oh my God. He's going to lecture the generals about grooming. Oh. Imagine being dragged halfway around the country and the guy has the nerve to lecture you on how you groom yourself. You're a general. And then he then gives you a warning about how you better be in line with us or else. Which I'm glad, because as I said, I'm not glad that he's doing what I warned about. This is about getting the generals in line for whatever illegal things Trump comes up with. What is good is they're pissing the generals off. And that's good, because we need these generals to be in as unaccepting a mood as possible when they get the message to basically do whatever, right? Jeff Jackson, I don't know who he is. He's the congressman who got redistricted and is now North Carolina AG. I don't know him, Ben. Thank you for that. He is not on the list. I will add him. I did reach out to Adam Kinzinger today. So that's at least one, only one, but still. Jeff Jackson. I do not know him at all. All right. He's on the list. That everyone's saying they like him. He's cool and they love him. Okay. All right. Wow. I mean, yeah. Wow. Grooming. I'm going to hang up in a second because it's 7:18, but I've got to do a quick TikTok video now on this. Grooming, but also they're going to warn him. Yeah. Oh, that's true. I mean, I've got it. It's right there. That is the picture. I've still got the original picture on my hard drive, of course. Yeah, I could, you mean just to auction off I want to be careful there because obviously like auctioning off a digital image is a little creepy to some degree. You know what I mean? I don't really want my digital image out there necessarily for people. You know, that's my only thing I'd want to think about. You know, I like the idea. Print it on a painting. What does that mean exactly though? What would you do, JTA? That's my only concern. Yeah, the sunset's fun, although the sunset is finally gone now. Now you're seeing the reflection from the room. Yeah, this is now the reflection of my room reflecting in the window. Oh, okay. Yeah. I printed it on a canvas, actually. It's just, that's what it actually looks like. Yeah. Let's reach out to me again. Let's figure it out. My only concern is I don't want to be sending the digital image out to people. You know what I mean? Although that's obviously easier, but that's just because I kind of don't want it out there just because, I mean, you know, because it's mine, but I don't, let's think about it. What are the odds of a military coup? Not good right now. You know, yeah, I may have a good review of sunrise. I try not to see it. Sasha does get me up for the sunrise occasionally. But you know, anyway. All right, guys, I'm going to get going. Thank you for joining. I'm going to sign off because I have to do a TikTok updating people with the latest, the grooming, telling the generals they have to groom themselves. Oh my God. Tomorrow morning is our weekend show. Show up tomorrow. If you would, please do. Otherwise, I will see the rest of you on Monday. Tomorrow's show for the paid monthly subscribers is 11 a.m. Eastern time US. So show up for that, please. And thank you, Sandria, for the gift. I'll be there at 11 a.m. Eastern. So look for me then. All right. See you guys. Thank you. Like I said, I'm going to go do a TikTok really quick now. Discord. See you, JTA and Jeffrey. And yeah, Jeffrey or JTA, talk to me again about it later. All right. YouTube. See you guys. And stream. Boom. All right. You guys as well.